Let's get to CBS News White House reporter Aaron Navarro. He's at the White House for us today. Aaron, thank you for joining us. This budget is the cornerstone of the president's agenda. We heard Hunter talk about that. What is he doing so far to help get it to the finish line?
Yeah, Mugo, at least two things, in the timeline. So overnight, as House Republicans were working to get this Senate bill passed, and as there was some tension with some of the usual holdouts when it comes to this budget bill, President Trump put on Truth Social saying, quote, "What are the Republicans waiting for?" adding, quote, "MAGA is not happy and it's costing you votes." After that bill at least got through some of the procedural votes in the House, President Trump posted this morning saying it was, quote, "a great night." We've learned that the White House is already planning a bill signing ceremony at the White House tomorrow around 5 p.m., potentially right before all the July 4th festivities. We also know that earlier in the week, President Trump has been making calls, hosting some of the House Republican holdouts at the White House to try and convince them to support this bill. And just to tack on from what my colleague Hunter Woodall said, this is going to be a cornerstone for President Trump's agenda in this term. He could potentially be seeing a different Congress in terms of party control in just 2 years. So he has really played up, the White House has really played up the importance of passing this bill now.
Yeah, and speaking of that, speaking of the midterms, I need to ask here, is the White House at all concerned about how the cuts to Medicaid in this bill could affect Republican lawmakers come the midterms in 2026?
Yeah, Mugo, at least concerned in the fact that they already have had their counter argument in the past couple of weeks, saying that these provisions when it comes to Medicaid and Medicare are, quote, to root out waste, fraud, and abuse. That has been the same kind of song sheet that you've heard White House officials, allies in Congress sing, for lack of a better term. They've pointed to the increased funding on the border, the tax cuts continuing, no federal taxes on tips, overtime, or Social Security. That's been something that the social media account, particularly with the White House, has been playing up. Just reporting that we have gotten from operatives working to support House Republicans in the 2026 midterms, they tell us that they believe that they can neutralize this issue by pointing to some of the specific pluses for Republicans in this bill when it comes to tax cuts, when it comes to border provisions. But again, just to remind the audience on what this bill will do in regards to Medicaid, Medicare, it will institute mandatory work requirements for adults without dependents, reduce the amount the federal government pays into Medicaid, putting more of the onus on the states, and it could lead to cuts when it comes to rural hospitals in particular. So this is something that Democrats have already signaled that they will use as a political vulnerability for Republicans going into 2026. The White House seems to be preparing for that with their own counter argument.
And Aaron, I want to pivot to a different question here because we understand that the president is speaking to Russian President Vladimir Putin today, and sources tell us he is going to speak to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy come tomorrow. Do we have any insight into what's being discussed?
Yeah, we know that the president announced it would start at 10 a.m. We didn't get official word on if it ended. We know on the president's schedule he had an 11:30 intelligence briefing close to press in the Oval Office. It's most likely that they talked about the Russia-Ukraine war. You saw developments on that front earlier this week when the Trump administration, it was found out that they paused some of the weapon shipments to Ukraine. The White House says this is an overall review of what the U.S. sends to foreign countries, but this of course gets a closer look just given that Ukrainian President Zelenskyy has been making public requests for more weapons from the U.S. So this is going to be kind of the core of what we're expecting from that conversation with Russian President Putin today. And we're going to be looking on Truth Social and be checking in with the White House to see if there will be any readout of how that call went.
Okay, Aaron Navarro for us at the White House. As always, thank you for your reporting.